Hey everyone, welcome to the 7th episode of the Bioterminal Classroom. So, in this episode, I will talk about the different communication protocols such as I2C, SPI, and UART on the bioterminal. So, I will start by using the Grove I2C sensors with the bioterminal, and at the end of the video, I will show you how to connect to a Raspberry Pi using the bioterminal. So, now let's get started. So at first, let's look at what we're going to learn today in this episode. So I will mainly talk about communication protocols in this video, and I will start by explaining to you the main communication methods such as serial and parallel. Then I will mainly talk about the serial communication methods because when you use bioterminal, the bioterminal has the ATSAM D51 chip, and that chip allows you to communicate with different serial communication methods. So here I will talk about I2C, SPI and UART communication, and in every communication method I will briefly describe you what they are, and then I will show you how these communication methods are used in bioterminal. So now let's talk about serial and parallel communication methods. So normally in a simple communication system, there is a sender and a receiver. So when the sender sends data, the receiver receives that data through a communication channel. So there are two main ways to communicate between a sender and a receiver. In a serial communication method, so the data from the sender is transmitted one bit at a time in a sequential order. So every bit follows the other in one single line. But when parallel communication is used, the data is transmitted at the same time. So all the bits of data is transmitted at the same time from sender to the receiver. So if you look at these two communication methods, you can clearly see that the parallel communication is much faster than serial communication because the receiver will receive all the data bits at the same time. But in serial communication, it will take some time for the receiver to receive until the last data bit because he will receive the bits one by one. But when you use parallel communication, there is a drawback, that is, you need 8 data lines to make a communication between the sender and the receiver. But in serial communication, you just need one data line to send the data from the sender to the receiver. So now let's talk about I2C communication, which is a serial communication. So I2C stands for Inter-Integrated Circuit, and in I2C, it has a simple bidirectional serial bus like this. So to transmit information between devices, only two wires are used, which is SDA and SCL, and this is called a bus, and you can connect up to 128 devices to this bus. So the I2C communication operates at half duplex, which means the data can only be sent or received at one time. So you can send the data from master to slave, and you can send back the data from slave to master, but only one at a time. They cannot be sent and received at the same time. Also, I2C is a synchronous communication, which means the communication is dependent on a synchronized clock signal between the two devices communicating together. I also want to mention that in I2C communication, all these devices connected to this bus is identified by an I2C address. So every device has its own I2C address, and when you communicate these devices with the master can identify these devices using their unique I2C address. So when using bioterminal with I2C devices, bioterminal will be the master and the I2C devices will be the slaves. So I have talked about Grove sensors in my previous video, but however I will give a brief introduction about Grove in this video also. So Grove sensors are sensors having a port like this. So this is called Grove port, and this port has 4 pins connected to it. So you can easily connect these Grove sensors to development boards by using a 4-wire cable. So you just need to plug in from here and plug in to the development board to start prototyping your projects using the Grove sensors in our Grove family. So you can visit this URL to learn more about Grove, and here you can see these sensors are categorized into different categories according to their functions. So here are some of the Grove I2C sensors that we offer in the Grove family. So now let's look at how to use Grove I2C sensors with the bioterminal. So in this example, I will use the Grove 16:2 LCD, which is an I2C based module. So I have explained to you before that bioterminal has two Grove ports. One port is the I2C port and another port is the configurable digital analog port. So now let's go ahead and connect the Grove 16:2 LCD to the I2C port of the bioterminal. So now let's set up the necessary software to use the Grove 16:2 LCD with the bioterminal. So first you need to download the Grove LCD RGB backlight library from this GitHub repository. So I will give a link to this URL in the video description so that you can go to this URL and download this repo as a zip file. After that, open Arduino and go to Sketch, Include Library and add .zip library. And after that, go to the location where you just downloaded the library. So this one. So just open it first and then you'll see that the library is successfully added to your Arduino IDE. So now let's start writing our codes to display Hello World on the Grove 16:2 LCD, which is connected to the bioterminal. So let's start by including this library, #include wire.h. So we need wire.h library because we are using I2C communication. So in I2C communication, you need to use the wire.h library. #include. Let's include the RGB LCD library that we just installed. After that, let's initialize that library, RGB LCD, and then let's start writing our codes for the setup. So let's initialize the LCD screen, the 16:2 LCD screen, by typing lcd.begin 16:2, and then let's print hello world, and then let's add a delay of 1 second, which is 1000 milliseconds. So this is a very simple code to show the hello world on the 16:2 LCD. So now let's upload this code to the board and see the result on the LCD screen. So now I will show you how to build a thermal imaging camera using the bioterminal. Here we will use the Grove infrared temperature sensor array, and this sensor is also an I2C device. So here we will connect this to the bioterminal and display the thermal imaging on the bioterminal LCD screen. So first let's start by downloading this repo. So go to this URL, I will give a link to this URL in the video description, and then download it as a zip file. After that, open Arduino, go to Sketch, Include Library and add .zip library, and go to the location where you just downloaded the library. So this is the library, open it and you will see that the library is successfully installed to your Arduino IDE. Now connect the Grove infrared temperature sensor to the Grove I2C port on the bioterminal. After that, you can boost the bioterminal CPU speed by going to Tools, CPU Speed and selecting 200 MHz. So this will boost up the performance and the frame rate of the IR thermal imaging camera. After that, copy this code and paste it into the Arduino IDE. Then upload this code to the board. So now let's talk about SPI communication. So SPI stands for Serial Peripheral Interface, and it supports bidirectional serial data transmission. So in here, 4 wires are used to transmit the information between a master and a slave, and these 4 wires stand for the clock, and this is master output slave input, and this is master input slave output, and the chip select. So SPI operates at full duplex, which means the data can be sent and received simultaneously. SPI is a very fast communication method compared to I2C, and in SPI the 2 data lines and the clock line are shared between the devices, and each device will require a unique address wire. Now let's look at the SPI port configurations on the wire terminal. So if you look at the 40-pin GPIO header of the wire terminal, you can see that there are 4 pins dedicated for SPI communication. So you can connect an SPI enabled sensor to these 4 pins to communicate with the wire terminal using SPI. So these are the physical pins on the wire terminal. So GPI 19, 21, 23 and 24 are dedicated for the SPI interface. And when you use SPI enabled devices with the wire terminal, you can define the pins in your Arduino code like this. So there is only one SPI interface broken out from the HSAM D51 chip, but there are other SPI interfaces on the HSAM D51 chip, and they are used for the internal functions of the wire terminal. So let's look at how the SPI is used inside the wire terminal. So it is used to communicate with the TFT LCD, to communicate with the SD card, and to communicate with the Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth chip, which is the RTL 8720DN. So you need a fast connection like SPI to communicate with these. Also there's another communication method called QSPI, and this is an extension of SPI, and this method is much faster than SPI. Also in QSPI, 4 data lines are used for communication instead of the 2 on the SPI. So QSPI is used to communicate between the HSAM D51 chip and the onboard flash. So when QSPI is used for this communication, the overall performance of the wire terminal will be much better. Finally, let's look at UART communication. So UART stands for Universal Asynchronous Receiver Transmitter. So UART is a simple bidirectional serial data transmission method, and it uses 2 data lines, which are TX for transmitting and RX for receiving, and 1 ground line. So when 2 devices are connected with each other using UART communication, so the data is sent from device 1 from TX to RX of device 2, and then the data is sent back from TX of device 2 to RX of device 1, and then there's a common ground line between device 1 and device 2. So UART operates at full duplex, which means the data can be sent and received at the same time. Also, UART is asynchronous, which means the communication is not dependent on a synchronous clock signal between the 2 devices communicating together. Now let's look at how to log in to a Raspberry Pi using wire terminal via the UART communication. So first you need to prepare 3 jumper wires, and then you need to connect those 3 jumper wires between the wire terminal 40-pin GPIO header and the Raspberry Pi 40-pin GPIO header as follows. So you can follow this diagram to make the connection, or here you can see which pin to connect between the Raspberry Pi and the wire terminal. So as I have explained to you before, the TX of Raspberry Pi is connected to RX of wire terminal, and then RX of Raspberry Pi is connected to TX of wire terminal, and then there's a common ground line between the Raspberry Pi and the wire terminal. Now let's set up the software necessary for this to work. So first, take out the micro SD card from the Raspberry Pi and insert it to the computer. Then access the micro SD card and find the config.txt file and open it. So by default, UART is not enabled on the Raspberry Pi. So you need to enable UART by typing enable UART equals 1. Then you need to save it. After that, put back the micro SD card to the Raspberry Pi. Now open Arduino, and then you need to copy and paste this code to your Arduino IDE. So I will give a link to this code in the video description down below, so that you can also copy that code and paste it into the Arduino IDE. After that, connect the Vio terminal to your PC by using a USB Type-C cable. Then upload the code to the board. Now you need to download and install PuTTY on your PC. So PuTTY is a free and open source terminal emulator application, and it can be used as a serial console client. So we will use this to access the Raspberry Pi via a terminal interface. So let's go ahead and download this by visiting this URL. After that, you can click here and download it according to your operating system. So I have a 64-bit operating system, Windows operating system. So I will select this one and wait a few seconds until the download is finished. After that, open the installer and follow the installation wizard to install PuTTY on your computer. So click finish to finish the installation. Now you need to connect the Raspberry Pi to power. Then open PuTTY. So here you need to select serial, and after that you need to specify the serial communication port. So let's go back to our Arduino code, and if you look at here, you can see that the Vio terminal is connected to the COM5 port. So let's specify this as COM5, and the speed is the serial baud rate, and in here we have specified it as 115200. So speed 115200. Finally, click open. After that, it will ask for your username. So the default username for the Raspberry Pi will be Pi, and the password will be Raspberry. So now you are logged in to the Raspberry Pi, and you can check by typing ls to list the files inside the Raspberry Pi. So as you can see, we have successfully logged in to the Raspberry Pi via the Vio terminal. So that's it for this video. If you guys like this video, please give a thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay updated with us. So see you guys in the next video.